Yamamoto returning to the rotation for the Dodgers. Shohei needing some numbers and needing them quick if he's going to get to that 50-50 mark. And pitching wins championships. You hear me say that all the time. I'm going to explain what I mean by that too as well. And former Dodger closer Kenley Jansen still whining about what someone said in the paper about him. I'll get to that. I'll get to all of it. This is Dodger Digest. I'm Brad J. with you. Myself and Mike Nelson bring the show to you. Daily videos busting out on your Los Angeles Dodgers. And if you want to get all the content available, we give it to you, okay? So make sure you subscribe. I think it's like 15% are subscribers that are currently watching. 85 are not. Get with the program. 85% of you sign up, subscribe to Dodgers Digest, and myself and Mike Nelson will bring it to you all the way through. Eventually, all the way until we win the World Series coming up this year. All right, let's get down to business. And first things, let's take care of business and talk about this right here. Well, let's talk about Yamamoto returning to the rotation, huh? Yamamoto returning to the rotation. How about some good news for your Dodgers? We'd like to have some good news. It'd be kind of nice for a little bit. Well, here's what Dave Roberts is saying. I think the stuff will be there. I'm not sure about how the command is going to be. Looking for him to get 4 starts before playoffs. 4 starts before playoffs. Okay. Did you hear what happened to him, though, in the last start that he had? Okay. Yamamoto, who's been sidelined with the right shoulder injury since June, made his second start in AAA. He did that on Tuesday, allowing 2 runs and striking out 3 over 2 innings. The outing wasn't the cleanest for the Japanese right-hander, as he needed 53 pitches to get through his 2 frames. Think about that one. I mean, if you're going to throw 53 pitches to get you through 2 innings, okay, think about that. What is that, 106 to go 4 innings? That's not going to get it done. So when Dave Roberts goes and says what he says, I think the stuff will be there. That means, okay, so he's going to have his velocity. He's going to have that. But how is the command going to be? That's what everyone's worried about, especially if you're going to throw 53 pitches. That's a lot of pitches to be throwing and thinking that's going to get it done. So is that going to happen? Well, we'll see. And then my question on the whole Yamamoto thing is, we're putting all your eggs in one basket, right? What if this doesn't work out? What do we do in case he's not ready to go? We're just going to find that out with 22 games left. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out, right? All right. Well, let's keep going here on Shohei, right? Let's talk about Shohei. The quest for MLB's first 50-50 season, it's coming, it's fast approaching, and he's running out of time. Did you think that was going to happen? A lot of people just said, no, he's going to get 50-50. Okay, so I've done the math, okay? I've done the math. All right, so here's what he's going to need. Okay. So here's the numbers right there. You see it. 44 home runs he has, okay? You see the stolen bases at 46. So he's trying to get 50 and 50. He needs 6 more home runs to get 50. There's only 22 games left. I'm not a mathematician. I don't think I did very well in math in school, but I think he's going to need something like like a home run every 3 games or something like that. So he went 0 for 4 on the final game against his old club, the Angels. And so now you got to wonder, well, what if he goes against Cleveland and just goes 0 for and just doesn't get a stolen base or a hit? And that takes out 3 games. Once again, he needs to get a home run basically every 3 games, because I keep saying that's the hardest part about this thing, is for him to hit the home runs. And you could argue with me on that one or not, but the hardest part is for him to be able to hit the home runs, because the fact is the closer you get to the end of the season, will pitchers start pitching to him. You start looking at the end of the season for the Dodgers, and they're going to be going against the Colorado Rockies. Like, they have 6 games against them towards the end of the season. Colorado Rockies aren't playing for anything. Are they going to want their name associated with the 50 home run ball from Ohtani? I don't think so. So they're probably going to pitch around the guy and let Mookie have the home run or let Freddie Freeman have the home run. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but he's going to need to start hitting home runs. The stolen bases will come because all you have to do is get a single, double, triple, or a walk or get hit by a pitch, and then now you have an opportunity to steal a base. So being that he only needs 4 stolen bases, that's more doable hitting that 50 mark than I'm feeling that 50 mark with the home runs. And I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news and say, well, it doesn't look like he's going to get it, but I mean, let's look at the schedule. What does the schedule say for the rest of the season? All right. So you got Cleveland for 3 right now. This goes on. So Ohtani, by the time you finish with Chicago Cubs, those 6 games, Cleveland 3, Chicago 3, he should have 2 home runs if he's on pace. If he does not have home runs in any of those games, he's not on pace to do the 50. And he'll fall short. So it's not a done deal. So let's not put the champagne back on ice. Don't uncork it yet because it is not over yet. And look at that schedule. Definitely favor the Dodgers. But see what I was talking about with Colorado? You play Colorado the last 3 games of the season. All right? If Ohtani needs to hit a home run, let's say just 1 home run in those games, they could literally, even if they lose, it doesn't matter. They're not going to the playoffs. So they could just, you know what? We don't want our name to be the pitcher that threw out the 50, so we're just going to walk him the entire 3 days. And if he needed 1 home run. So my point is this. He's got to get past that. He's got to get farther. He's got to get more home runs and needs to get them in bunches right now. 2 or 3 and 3 or 4 games. That's my shot. That's my take on that whole thing. All right, let's talk about Kenley Jansen. Yeah, why are we talking about Kenley? Former closer for the Dodgers. The dude is whining. Why is he whining? He's bummed about the way the press handled him back in the day. All right? So, back in the day, he blew a save, which, when he was losing velocity a little bit, things were happening. He brushed off the question, responding defensively to, I think it was the LA Times writer, that who cares? And then he doubled down, stating, no, it's not mechanics, because the reporter was asking me, is it mechanics? He just got me. Who cares? Who cares? It's 1 game. Okay? All right. So you think to yourself, why would you do that, right? Why would you actually do that? It was Andy McCullough, the beat writer for the LA Times, who asked him that whole and pointed out 2 of his cutters, which clocked in at 88 and 89 per, which was unusually low for him. So those were lower on his cutters because his cutters, I think, were low 90s at the time. All right. This is a real easy one to approach. Kenley Jansen, who cares? You can't say that. And if you're going to say that to the media, be prepared for some backlash, right? What happened when Kershaw lost velocity? Okay, just think about Kershaw. Remember when, his dominance on his fastball wasn't as good and he lost like 3 ticks or something like that on his fastball, right? What did Kershaw go out and do? He went out and learned how to make his other pitches better to be able to adapt to the loss in velocity. So if there is a loss in velocity and someone's going to call it out, that's going to be part of baseball. You can't get your feelings hurt over someone calling out your velocity, especially if your velocity has gone down like 2 or 3 miles per hour. If it's gone down that much, that's something you talk about. So for him to be whining about it, just knock it off, Kenley Jansen. All right? Just knock it off. All right? All right, so that's what I got to say about that. Okay, facing Boyd on the mound for Cleveland. And it looks like the guys, as you can see right here, who's had success. I would imagine, I'm not saying these guys are going to be your starters, but if you look, Kiermaier's actually done good against Boyd, so you look for him to be in the lineup. Miggy Rowe, he's done good. Look for him to be in the lineup too as well. And CT3, Chris Taylor, got to think he's going to be in the lineup. He's only, I think, had 1 bat at him, but He's got to hit. And I figure if you want to get Taylor going, you want him to play, you want him to get base hits. And Betts also all have success against Boyd. So we'll see how that goes. The schedule is in the Dodgers' favors. Yamamoto coming back. Shohei needs to start hitting some home runs. And that is for sure, because if you're going to get to this mark and we're going to be 50-50, you know the deal. You're going to start having to hit some ding-dongs at some point here and start stacking those numbers. Stacking them and racking them. And make sure you subscribe to Dodgers Digest. I'm Brad J. That's going to do it. Remember, always think blue. Go Dodgers.